Welcome back to Module 1. The purpose of this first module is to help you establish a realistic budget so that you can consistently spend less than you earn and produce savings every single month. These consistent savings are the key to mastering your money. In the previous tutorial, we looked at your income and the importance of coming up with a reliable and regular income you can base your budget on. Knowing your income is the obvious starting point because your income creates the upper boundary of your spending. Remember that golden rule of money management. We must not spend more than we earn. So in this tutorial, we are going to look at the second half of this equation, and that is your expenses. Having a comprehensive understanding of your expenses is the foundation of a successful budget. The number one reason most budgets fail is lack of preparation. Most people don't take the time to thoroughly understand what all their expenses are. Fortunately, this will not happen to you because right now I am going to share with you the process I take all of my coaching clients through to help them gain a comprehensive understanding of what their expenses are. The first place to start when setting up an effective budget is to gain a comprehensive understanding of all of your expenses and all of your income. Now, most people look at me and go, well, that's easy. And in fact, when I sit with clients, they'll often start saying to me, okay, well, I've got my rates and I've got my rego and I've got my insurances and I've got the car maintenance and and they keep going with all the bills, the ones that they do know. But when I say to them, well, that's great, but what do you spend on clothes? What do you spend on groceries? What do you spend on hobbies? What do you spend on entertainment? What do you spend on gifts? They have no idea. And the reality is, most people have no idea what these expenses are. Yet these are the things that we need to include. These are the things we need to budget for. Because you don't overspend on your bills typically. It's the discretionary stuff that you overspend on. So we need to know what they are. So that's the first thing. And whenever I sit with clients, or I start off with clients, I give them 3 tasks to do. Well, firstly, I give them the budget worksheets. Now, my budget worksheets are available to you and you can download them from the portal below this video. This is going to be part of your homework. Then there are 3 tasks that I set each of my clients to help them fill in these worksheets. Firstly, you need to start recording every dollar you spend. Now, this is super important because this is going to help you get a feel for, well, what do I spend on groceries? What do I spend on coffees and bought lunches and takeaway? It's all those little bits that add up. And the only way you're really going to know what you spend is by recording your spending on a daily basis. The second thing that I get my clients to do is to go back through 6 to 12 months of credit card and bank statements. Now, I know this sounds like a big task, but it's actually not. So can I encourage you, take the 2 hours you need to do this. Just get it knocked over, just do it. And you'll find that it's almost therapeutic, that once you've been through it and you've got a really good list of what all these expenses are, you'll feel a whole lot better for it. But what we're trying to find out through this process is, what are all your expenses, how much your expenses, how frequently do they occur, and where relevant, when are they next due? Now the third task, you need to complete a gifts list. This will tell you how much you spend on presents for people, and this is a really important part of the process because typically us Australians or anyone in a Western culture, we waste way too much money on buying presents for people. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it's good to buy presents for people, but we tend to overdo it. And when you fill it in this worksheet, you will be surprised at just how much you do spend. So there's 3 tasks there to help you fill in the worksheets. Once you've got the worksheets filled in, you then need to go to the Grandma's Jars app and start putting that data into the app, where it will convert it to a monthly figure for you so you can then make an apples comparison between what your income is and what your expenses are. Now, the next part of this video, I'm going to take you to the app to show you how to do that and show you how you can make that direct comparison between your income and your expenses. Remember, the whole point to this module is to consistently spend less than you earn so that we have a surplus, and this is the starting point. Thoroughly completing these 3 tasks and filling in the budget worksheets will give you a comprehensive understanding of what all of your expenses are. Once you have completed the worksheets as best you can, it's time to enter your expenses into the Grandma's Jars application. This can be done on step 5 of the setup phase. Now, this will take an hour or two, but please believe me, this will be time well spent. As you enter these expenses into the application, the system will automatically convert each expense to a monthly figure so that you can start making an apples to apples comparison between what you earn on a monthly basis and what you are allocating to your future expenses on a monthly basis. At the top of each page, you will find a detailed video tutorial on how to complete each step of this process. So I won't go through adding expenses to the application in this video. Instead, I want to take you through to the main budget where I can walk you through Dean and Emma's budget. But before I do, I want to strongly encourage you to watch the video tutorial on this page especially, so that you are clear on the difference between a regular and a recurring expense. Okay, what you are looking at now is the main page or dashboard of the Grandma's Jars budget application. You will land here as soon as you have completed the setup phase of your budget. To get to your expense page from here, you need to click on My Jars and then in the main menu bar, Jars. Here on the left, you can see a list of Dean and Emma's expense categories, or as we call them at Grandma's Jars, Jars. Right now, we are looking at Dean and Emma's everyday jar. Over here on the right, you can see a breakdown of the expenses they have assigned to this jar. We can see that they have cash pocket money, coffee, groceries, petrol, takeaway, and parking that comes out on a weekly basis. In this column here, you can see each expense has been converted to a monthly figure, and at the top of the page, you can see the total monthly allocation to the jar of $1,357.92. It's important to note that this is what Dean and Emma are allocating to the everyday expense jar on a monthly basis. The $1,357.92 isn't necessarily what they will spend, it's what they're allocating. And if they don't spend all of it, then it accumulates in the jar for future months. If we click through each of these jars on the left, you can see on the right all the expenses that Dean and Emma have assigned to each of their jars. So for instance, we can see here under Utilities that Dean and Emma have set up their electricity, rates, strata and water as recurring expenses for a total monthly allocation of $449.64. Under Grooming, they have clothes, cosmetics, hairdressing and shoes for a total monthly allocation of $227.82 per month, and so on. If you haven't done so already, you now need to go through and identify all your expenses and enter them into the budget application using the budget worksheet as a guide. Just remember that there is a video at the top of the page to show you how to enter your expenses. So please watch it before you start entering your expenses. The more thorough you can be at capturing all of your known expenses, the more likely it is that your budget will succeed. Your homework. If you have not done so already, download the budget worksheets. For the next 30 days, record every dollar you spend. Go through 12 months worth of credit card and bank statements, and remember, what you want to know is what are all your expenses, how much are they, how frequently do they occur, and where relevant, when are they next due. You then need to download and complete the gifts list. Once you've completed these 3 tasks, fill in the budget worksheets. And finally, go to step 5 of the Grandma's Jar setup phase and enter all of your expenses. Now please note, this will take some time. This, however, is by far the most time-consuming part of the entire course. Once you have identified your expenses and entered them into the system, the bulk of the hard work is done. From here on, everything is just tweaking. So please just bite the bullet and get it done. I once heard it said that the dividing line between success and failure can be expressed in 5 simple words. I did not have time. Please don't let this be you. All the exciting stuff, the debt-free lifestyle, the freedom from financial stress and uncertainty, it all sits on the other side of this process. So please just make it happen. In the next video, it's time to face your moment of truth. We are going to make a direct comparison between your monthly income and your monthly expenses.